Welcome to Pod Applaud, the Monday through Friday podcast that aims to enable your podcast habit. I'm your host, Seb, and today we are going to talk about the podcast Inspired. Inspired is a conversational podcast between musicians and host Linda Marigliano. There's over 30 episodes so far, with a new one to look forward to each week. The conversations are between 10 and 20 minutes long, mostly closer to that 10-minute mark. This podcast is put out by Australia's radio station Triple J, who I know from their fantastic Like a Version series on YouTube, in which they have bands come in and cover songs in a whole new way. Like a Version is great. As long as I'm recommending things you should check out that series for sure. Regardless, my point is, as a radio station, these folks really know their way around sound. The show's audio sounds just as great as you might expect. The premise of Inspiration is that Linda brings a musician onto the show to ask them about the origin story, inception, and inspiration behind one of their tracks. Speaking of our lovely host, Linda is an enjoyable conversationalist. I often find she asks the questions that are on the forefront of my mind. The journey a song takes as the band or artist creates it is the story that she is after. We learn the creative states of mind, the workflow of the musicians, inspirations behind the music, and Easter eggs about the track. People are always speculating upon artist lyrics, and once in a while on this podcast, we get to see behind the curtain, which is always fun. Be aware that sometimes the answer is just as basic or simple as, well, Trevor rhymed, so that's why I use Trevor, which sometimes can be a little unsatisfying. Let me take a brief moment to list some of the artists that have been on the show. Mumford and Sons, The Prodigy, Lily Allen, Wolf Alice, Franz Ferdinand, Vera Blue, The Wombats, Ballpark Music, Tame Impala, and so many more. You might see a pattern emerging here. Many, if not most of the artists, are Australian. So, if you're from North America or haven't really experienced the Australian music scene, this show can double as a way for you to find a bunch of new music you just might be into. I like that the show is relatively quick and snappy. It manages to feel personal yet structured and professionally done at the same time. Sometimes I do wish that certain conversations ran a bit longer. Other stories can be a little bare bones at times, so I get why many of the episodes are quite short. I'm not musically gifted in any way, shape, or form, and admittedly, I'm no wizard when it comes to working with audio. But whenever artists are talking about behind the scenes world of music production, I just get sucked right in. My only big complaint is that if you're not familiar with the song, you will get enough of it to follow along with the conversation, but it may lead you to wanting a bit more. Usually, when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm at work without Wi-Fi, so I can't just hop onto YouTube and check out the full song. I have to wait all the way until I'm done my shift to hear it. Here on Pod Applaud, I rate shows on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 is silence, 2 is a slow clap, 3 is applause, 4 is a round of applause, and of course, 5 is a standing ovation. I give Inspiration a 4 out of 5, a round of applause. The show is rad, informative, fun, and you might just get introduced to your newest favorite band. The only catch is that Inspiration may leave you wanting just a bit more, and there can be some disparity between the best episodes and some of the less entertaining ones. That's been the show for today. I hope you found it valuable. If you wish to reach out to me, you can find me on Twitter @podapplaud or send an email to podapplaud@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and please tune in again.